Let's go to our top story, ladies and gentlemen, and that definitely is on the Iranian and Israeli conflict that has only escalated. We've seen the kind of reaction that's coming in from the markets. Oil has also reacted, but tensions have soared to new heights, with Israel claiming to, quote unquote, eliminate multiple Hezbollah and Hamas leaders. In fact, the UN Secretary General has called for a ceasefire now. The US Secretary of State has called for a global condemnation of Iran's attacks, and India deemed Hamas's 7th October attacks as a terrorist attack, but it maintained the need to uphold humanitarian law. To discuss this issue further, I'm now joined by Daniel Carmon, former Israeli ambassador to India, and KP Fabian, former ambassador. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us here on ET Now. Let me first take this question to you, sir. The kind of impact that we have seen, Mr. Carmon, since the attack, things have been quiet. I want to understand, when Israel says that it will retaliate, would you call this a lull before the storm, and what kind of an attack is Israel preparing for?
I have to disappoint you. Things have not been quiet since the attack, the very strong attack by Iran, a state not hiding behind the proxies as it did for so much time. Things have not been quiet because Hezbollah has been continuing to fire across the border, and every morning we wake up and during the whole day there are alerts and alerts and alerts on our northern border. The IDF, on the other hand, is very active also near the border, getting into some villages and having more and more evidence as to the preparation that Hezbollah has made during all those years to attack and maybe to conquer the Upper Galilee, as we call our northern region. So things have not been quiet in the last couple of days.
Yes, but what kind of an escalation, when Israel says that it will retaliate, what kind of a retaliation could the world expect?
I'm not an official of the Israeli government, and I would not advise any official representative to tell ahead of time what kind of retaliation or action Iran will have to endure after that historic, I would say, attack by 181, almost 200 ballistic missiles from Iran directly to Israel. So there will be a retaliation. Iran must and will pay a heavy price for this attack, this brutal attack on Israel, which luckily, and not only luckily, because of the Israeli technology and some help from partners, regional partners, US, Britain, France, and others, luckily the damage is minimal. But it doesn't matter. Iran was warned ahead of time by the international community, and Iran will receive and will have to pay, as I said before, for what it has done.
And that's been reiterated over and over again by Prime Minister Netanyahu as well. Let me come to you, Mr. Fabian. Now, Prime Minister Modi, during his call with his Israeli counterpart, Prime Minister Netanyahu said that there is no place for terrorism, but India is also wanting to play an active role so far as peace talks are concerned, so that a solution could be arrived at. How do you think that can be made possible?
Well, let us get it straight. Israel has been continuously provoking Iran. I don't have to remind you what they did in the Iranian consulate in Damascus. I don't have to remind you of what they did with Ismail Haniyeh. I don't have to remind you about other things. So my point is that Israel has been doing it. Why? Because Israel would like to have a bigger war. Well, if Israel is going on provoking, a point of time will come when Iran will find it impossible to exercise restraint. And now, as regards your question, I do not think that Israel is in any mood to have a ceasefire in Lebanon or an understanding with Iran so that there is no war between the two. Israel is in aggressive mood, and it has said that the UN Secretary General is a persona non grata. No, this sort of aggressive behavior does not contribute to, what shall I say, resolution of problems. That sort of behavior only aggravates problems. Now, by saying all this, I'm not sort of justifying all that
Right,
Iran has
right,
done. That is a different
right.
matter.
Right, right. Let me take that comment to Mr. Carmon now. Mr. Carmon, the way Israel has reacted so far as banning the entry of the UN Security General is concerned, and yesterday, let me also get you some quotes. In fact, he did condemn Iran as well. He did condemn Hezbollah as well, and of course call for a peaceful resolution to the matter. Do you think that Israel's reaction to the entry of the United Nations Security General was a bit exaggerated?
Well, allow me first to express my, I'm really surprised to hear what my predecessor, my colleague, just said about Israel being an aggressor and provoking. We are talking, and you won't be surprised by hearing what I'm saying now. We are talking about Israel's fight against terrorism. I can tell you that I personally am a victim of Iranian terrorism dating back from 1992. Iran, with its proxies, and I'm talking about 7 fronts that Israel has been confronting in the last year, shooting, attacking the territory of Israel. Is this an aggression by Israel? Sir, I'm really surprised to hear from an Indian citizen who knows exactly what confronting terrorism is to say that Israel has been provoking Iran. We are talking about a fight against terrorism. We're talking about a state called Iran, which is denying the Holocaust and preparing for the next one, which has been developing nuclear weapons in order to expand its Islamic territory. We're talking about a country that has declared more than once its will to destroy a member state of the United Nations. This is an Israeli provocation. I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised. As to the UN, the decision to ban or to declare, again, I'm not a representative of the government of Israel. I do detect, and I follow UN-Israel affairs. I do think that the UN Secretary General, instead of doing his job, he took sides. There is only one point in which I would like to commend the Secretary General, and this is his declarations around and about our 101 hostages. In all other aspects, the Secretary General of the United Nations, which Israel is a proud member of, has taken sides, and that's wrong. I would not ban his entry to Israel. I think it's a mistake to ban his entry. But I think he should receive a very clear message that he should be acting like a Secretary General of the United Nations and not the Secretary General of the non-aligned movement.
But sir, if you see the kind of comments that have come in, there have been several countries that have sided with Israel, and we were just having a chat with an Israeli spokesperson from the a spokesperson from the Israeli embassy in India, and that spokesperson said that Israel has been asking for peace deals since October 7th. After 11.5 months, we have decided that enough is enough, and we will take action to keep our people safe. It's not like Israel has not really retaliated. It's not really attacked. So why does Israel really feel that everybody is against it and it is the only victim in this war?
all the world is against it, and those who say so, I think, exaggerate a little bit. We have the understanding of the world, because fighting terrorism is the world challenge, and who better than an Indian audience or a Mumbai audience can understand what it means to fight terrorism. We have been attacked on the 7th of October in a way that I don't think that in the Middle Ages they were fighting that way. Mutilating, raping, burning, kidnapping, massacring people who were in a festival.
Absolutely.
And yes, we had to retaliate, and war was waged on us, and we retaliated. And
Sir, you say that Israel has been attacked again. I will also take you to the stance that India has taken, and that is about regarding October 7th as a terrorist attack. So India has clearly called out the October 7th as a terrorist attack, but you're still feeling, Israel is still feeling that it is the only party which is getting attacked by all sides. And when I spoke to that gentleman from the Israeli embassy right here in India, when I asked him about whether Israel would want a peace deal or not, and whether Israel is open to negotiations and peace talks, the spokesperson said that we will take action to keep our people safe. After 11.5 months, we have decided enough is enough. That is not really a conciliatory tone, in my opinion.
Try to explain. The fact that there was an attack on 7th of October does not mean that it ended on the 8th of October. As a matter of fact, on the 8th of October, Hezbollah and the other proxies of Iran have been attacking Israel. 60,000 internally displaced Israeli citizens are not in their homes since then. And as the embassy spokesperson has said, Israel has the obligation, not only the right, but the obligation to be sure that its citizens can go back to their places of where they live in safety and not being under a threat from rockets above or from tunnels below. So attack on the 7th of October, which India so intelligently acknowledged as a terror act, has not ended on the 8th of October.
Yes.
I mean, a terror is a continuous threat that has to be eradicated.
And so there've been retaliation. There've been retaliation from both sides. I'm afraid we're completely running out of time, so I have to close this discussion right here. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us here on ET Now. Of course, we'll have to see the kind of action and retaliation that Israel takes, and of course, whether the allies, the United States, Britain, and of course the others involved here can indeed arrive at a peace deal so far as this escalation, this Middle East situation is concerned.